with Miranda, broker and owner of Miranda Executive Realty. This is going to be our latest installment of Ask the Broker, our elite training that we do the second and fourth Thursday of every month. Before we jump into this too much, we're going to do our regular shameless plug because we do record these. These do go on YouTube and different channels. So for any agents that do end up watching this, if you want to learn more about our company, please scan the QR code and we'd love to get to know you and show you what we can do to help you take your business to the next level. That being said, questions and answers, we're going to hold those off to the end. This way, we can just kind of get through it. Any questions that you do have, they're very important to us. If you want, you can put them in the comments on the side, or if you just write it down so that you don't forget it, but we'll definitely put questions and answers at the end. Quick disclaimer, I am the broker and owner of Miranda Executive Realty. This is not meant to be legal advice. This is not financial advice. These are just my opinions from experience that I've had from, the things that have happened in my company, the way that we do things. But we do any legal advice, any financial, any type of advice, please, run that through the appropriate professions that you work with. So let's jump into it, into the meeting. Today, we are going to talk about how to resolve everyday issues the Miranda Executive Realty way. So there's kind of a key or a base set of issues that we run into on a somewhat regular basis. So what we want to do is just kind of go over these things. And this is definitely for, people on this call right now. But this is also going to be for, down the road in the future, kind of just to get in front of some things. Some of this may be common sense, and you might say, well, why is he teaching that, or why is he talking about that? Other things may not be. And I know that we've got, we're now using a new platform in this brokerage, Bold Trail. So a little bit of that is going to show you some of the areas that Bold Trail actually comes into and solves those problems for us preemptively. So easier than you think. Hopefully this training is maybe a little bit overly simplistic for you, but I'm just hoping that somebody can learn something. What we're going to talk about is going to be the tools that we have in this brokerage, the things that we've set up in this brokerage, and things that are inside the tools that we offer that are going to help you, troubleshoot and figure out your problems. Some of the resources that we have, and then things, like I say, that you can just use some sound judgment, some simple things, other tools that are, just available universally out there that anybody can use. So what are some of the tools and resources that we have that can answer questions that you have? Let me just start, number one, by saying, we here, Miranda Executive, we pride ourselves on the support that we give you guys as agents. I think everybody here that's on this call will know that we want to be available, right? So, I want you to call me. I want you to text me. I want you to reach out to me. And the reason I want you to do that is because I need to know when there's a problem, right? I need to know when there's an issue. I need to know where maybe, one of the agents in our office doesn't know what necessarily to do next, right? Our agents in the office are a representation of this brand, and we want to have agents out there that are, making our brand look good, that are giving us a strong brand presence. So don't ever think that you shouldn't reach out to me. Don't ever think that you shouldn't reach out to Irene or any of our admins, any of our managers in this office, even Don Walters, our corporate counsel attorney. I believe a lot of you have, worked with him. A lot of you probably have his cell phone. So, don't ever think that we don't want you to reach out to us. You're never bothering us. There's literally, and I mean this in the sincerest way possible, there's no such thing as a bad question, right? Maybe a bad answer, but not a bad question, because if you don't know, then we do need you to reach out to us. That is that's the number one thing. So that being said, maybe sometimes you can't get a hold of somebody when you need to. Maybe it's 3 a.m. You can't sleep because you jolted out of bed. So, these are things that you can use, on your time, right? The number one thing I want to direct our agents to are the agent resources. This is really where all of the information, all of the knowledge that myself as a broker, even other agents that that have come from other brokerages, they've brought some things that that we've duplicated some of those things. Just there's a lot in here, and this kind of would be a central hub. You're going to get everywhere from here. These trainings that we do here, the Ask the Brokers, they're inside here. Yeah, this right here, onboarding, this is huge, right? When a new agent comes in, we really want our new agents, whether not new, like newly licensed, but just an agent that came in and they're new to the brokerage. We want them to go through this onboarding checklist, right? This right here is going to help just to make sure, you've got your foundation you're going to do first, right? If you're building a house, you can do foundation, framing, front door. Right, so it's kind of got 3 levels. The first thing you want to do is build your foundation, right? This is really just setting up a lot of things, making sure that make sure you have all your logins, everything's kind of there. But we really, if you go through this, get your foundation done, get through the framework of this. The framing is going to be more training, learning the things that you now have access to these things. You've logged in, now you need to train them, right? And then finally getting to the front door, which is really where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're showing homes. Maybe you need to write a contract, whatever it is. So this right here, the framework that we've created just in this right here for a new agent, again, whether you're newly licensed or new to the brokerage, even if you've been licensed for 5 years, it's not a bad idea just to look through here and see if there's something in here that you've missed or something in here that you can do. So we really want everybody to be going through agent resources. There's a lot of information in here. It's fairly navigable. You're not going to break it. Click the links, really go to the left side and go through those. For listings, Home Seller's Guide, did you know we had that? Sometimes for listings, you want to do a pre-inspection or let the customer do their own inspection. Well, we have our own branded inspection checklist in here. You can take this on a listing presentation and you can just hand this to the customer and say, here, do your own pre-inspection, right? See if, they don't need to look at it all, but this is going to give them an idea. This will even give yourself as an agent an idea of what the home inspector is going to be looking at. It's not a professional inspection report. I don't advise the agent to do an inspection of the house and give a report to the customer. This is something that the customer should have, the customer should look at, right? But this is just kind of a quick run through, a quick, jog through that the agent can, it's a resource that you can give your customer. And I don't think there's many agents that are giving these to their customers. So if you're going on a listing appointment and you think there may be something there, I would say definitely try to do that. The Home Seller Guide, when you list the house, you can give this to them. This is going to help them prepare their home. There's just a whole lot of stuff in here. If you go in and you just click in these little boxes, they're going to tell you, or you can see it, right? So before your next listing appointment, go in there, see if there's anything there that's worth, taking with. You can save it as a PDF. You can email it to them. You don't have to print it if you don't want to. If you do print, I do recommend print in color, right? I think printing in color is, when you're going on a listing appointment, it's just that one little extra thing. I've been, where to trainings where they say it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But personally, when I go on an appointment, everything I print, I always print it in full color. So agent resources, there's too much in there for me to go through, and we could probably do a full training literally on just agent resources. But just go to the left bar when you go there, and click the arrows. It's going to drop down, and it's going to take you to all of the different things. Click in there, check it out, see what's in there. I think, there may be more in there than maybe you think. And it's things that, may give you a slight edge when you go on a listing appointment, or might give you a slight edge when you go, and you have to do the buyer's presentation, whatever it is. So you'll find updates in there, legal updates, things like that. So hopefully that's helpful. The next thing that I want to talk about, Google, right? So I used to have a sign on my wall and it just said GTS. And what does that mean? Google that stuff, right? Google is a huge resource. Now, can you believe everything that's on the internet? I think probably not, right? So, obviously run this through your own filter. But, for example, us, right now, we're dealing with a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes. There's the SIRS, there's the milestone inspection, and they all reference back to Florida statute, right? If you see F period S, 810.318 or whatever, right? That's a Florida statute. That's a law. How do you find that statute, right? The condo riders have changed. We've been looking at a lot of things in condo riders lately, because now not only do we have to request condo docs or say that we have condo docs, now we have to determine, does, based on Florida statute, 810.813 or whatever it is, I don't know what statute that is, I've just made that number up. But based on that, do we have to provide these certain disclosures? Well, how do you do that? Google is an amazing resource. And if you don't know the website, if you just Google the Florida statute, right? So, if you look at the condo rider, for example, it'll say exactly what it is, right? 813.810, P4, whatever, or 4P or whatever it is, right? Well, if you Google that, it's going to take you to that website, right? So stuff is changing so quickly for us right now. It's really very difficult for us to keep up with it. Me as the broker, the management team, we do the best we can to keep up with everything, but some of these laws are just so ambiguous. I don't even think they figured out the commission, the settlement with the commission. I don't think they figured that out completely yet, right? We've done a lot of research, we've looked into it, we do the best we can with everything. But we do want to empower the agents in the brokerage to also go out and find, answers to some of these things, right? There's a lot of minds, there's a lot of very intelligent people in our brokerage. And, maybe we need to have a conversation, because sometimes we can look at things one way, but, getting other points of view, another person's perspective can maybe bring a little bit more clarity into that. And I'll tell you, the better you understand something, the easier it's going to be to explain it. If we don't understand something, we're not going to be able to explain it. So, while you're looking at these new laws, these new regulations, these new settlements, right? While we're looking at all of those things, we need to not just know how to get through the paperwork, but we need to be able to explain it. And how are you going to best be able to explain something? How can you explain a contract to somebody? Well, it's by reading it. So when an addendum in the contract references a Florida statute, I would recommend, if you don't know what that statute talks about, then go into Google, type in that statute and look it up. And that's just one area, right? There's a million different areas, right? Does a home buyer have to honor the lease if there's a lease in place at closing? If you're not sure about it, Google it. Right now, again, don't take the first answer that you read. It's probably a good idea to read a few articles. Make sure you're reading stuff from, if it's an attorney opinion, make sure that attorney's office is in the state of Florida. Better yet, make sure that they're in Broward County, or better yet, make sure they're in the city of, whatever question it is that you have. Right. So whatever it is, make sure that you're filtering it through your own logic and your own common sense to make sure, because, laws are going to be different in other states, right? They may be similar, they might be the same, but they also could be very, very different. So we don't want to be practicing, things that would be relevant maybe in like the state of Alabama, here in the state of Florida, because that's how we get ourselves in trouble. If you can't find the answer in Google, then obviously we want you to come to us, right? If you come to us first, that's totally fine. These are just ways if you can't get us, if you need something quick, right? Next favorite part, artificial intelligence. I freaking love artificial intelligence. AI is like the most amazing thing. And if you haven't read about DeepSeek yet, just know that has the potential to be an absolute game changer. ChatGPT was the big one for a long time. Everybody is probably familiar with ChatGPT. I'm sure you've heard the name. If you don't have ChatGPT as a favorite, as a favorite app on your phone, you probably should, right? So mine is right here. So if I ever need ChatGPT, I open it up and it's right there. It's already a favorite app on my phone, whatever I need. The other day I was at the beach and I was on my phone and I was asking ChatGPT questions, right? ChatGPT will act like anything, but DeepSeek might be the new ChatGPT. I just found out about this over the weekend. This is brand new. This is the reason why all of the tech stocks, they all tanked Monday morning. This is why we had that big drop in everything on Monday, was because DeepSeek came out and apparently they do what ChatGPT does better, and they do it faster, and they do it for less money, like way less money. Like it's 1/8 the cost of ChatGPT or something like that. Don't quote me on that because I don't know enough about it yet. I think that's what it is. So this will be a new one. One thing, DeepSeek is, it's Chinese technology, but it seems to be getting the nod from all of the tech community at this point. So, but like everything else, obviously, proceed with caution. Even with ChatGPT, proceed with caution, because you don't know, the things that you say or do or whatever. You don't know where that ends up out there. So just use these things responsibly, right? But artificial intelligence is absolutely amazing. You don't know how to write certain verbiage. You don't, when I have a listing, I use ChatGPT. Maybe I'll start using DeepSeek. I don't know. It's new. But what do? I write down all the key features, right? Impact windows, minutes to the ocean, near shopping, great school district, large open floor plan, and let's say marble tile throughout. And I just take that and then I say, so I learned don't have small talk with ChatGPT because you'll get nothing done. I used to try to be polite to ChatGPT and say, "Hi ChatGPT, how are you today?" And then it'll communicate and it'll respond and it'll like ask you more questions and then you don't get to anything. So I just go in and I'm rude to ChatGPT now. So I'll take those words, paste them in there, right? The description that I just said, and I'll say, write this in a way. So I think MLS is 800 characters or less, or maybe it's 600. In 600 characters or less, write me an MLS description that makes this sound like a luxury listing and like the best property that's on the market right now, right? And then give it like 30 seconds and there it is, right? And then you can look at it and you can say, okay, you don't say this, but let's say you like it, but maybe there's a couple things. Change this sentence. Add this feature. Take this feature out. Make this sound better, right? Make this sound more appealing. Whatever it is, like you're giving it direction and it's just spitting out whatever it is that you're telling it to do, right? So that's just one example on how you can use these things. But when it comes to creative content, especially if you're not very creative or you're not very good with words, this is where you would use it. Gemini is Google's AI. If you don't know, we've upgraded every account in the office with Gemini. You probably woke up one morning last week maybe, and you were like, oh, wow, there's Gemini. Well, that's because we upgraded your email account to add Gemini. Why? Because we need to keep up with technology as it's happening. So Gemini is amazing because you could type up, let's say you don't like somebody, right? Somebody that's on the other side of a transaction. You could type up a very, very rude email, right? You could say, dear so-and-so, I hate your stinking guts. I think you're, very not intelligent, and I hope you fall off a cliff. And then you can say, make this more polite, right? Like, make this more polite. And then it's going to, right. I find it difficult to work with this particular agent. See, right? There you go. Boom. So you can really do anything here, and the subtext, right? What's behind what you just typed there, but maybe the agent doesn't, right? So whatever it is, if maybe English is not your first language, or maybe maybe English is your first language, and you just still don't like speaking the stinking language. Maybe you get the theirs wrong, right? Maybe you still don't know which there you should use, and in which context, right? Well, it can fix all of this for you. Just type up the sloppy version of it. There's times when we have to have a difficult conversation, and we don't know how to say it. My cat wants out. And by just getting it out, right? Sometimes you're like, okay, and I do this a lot in meetings. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to say this, but I'm just going to get it out, right? Like, okay, we need to, find a way to, convey this message to the customers better, like whatever it is, right? So if you type out your sloppy version of whatever, whatever this idea is, right? And then just tell whatever AI is, whatever AI you use, tell it to, help you say it better. It'll do it, right? So really, and Gemini is inside all of your Google products. It's not, it's not just in your Gmail, but it's in, like you see here, it's in Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. You don't know how to write a formula, tell Gemini to write the formula. Right? What's the formula for? Right? Whatever it is, like, play around with it, because the thing is AI is not going anywhere. We can resist, we can resist the innovation if we want, but you're not going to get ahead by resisting innovation. Successful people implement things very quickly. The minute you learn something, you should implement it. We have definitely implemented AI. When we looked for a new CRM for the company, we looked for a CRM that had at least some AI integrations, right? They had to have some AI integrations. Maybe they haven't perfected it. I think that's a very big system to try to throw AI into, and you got to find out, what's the borders, what's the boundaries. But, they had to have some AI integrations. Now, so play around with AI. Play around with it in your email, play around with it in your docs, like, everything that you do in Google from your company account, Gemini is going to be there. It's that little star up in the corner, right? So when you click that, that's going to open up Gemini, right? You get a super long email, you can say, summarize this email, and it'll give you just a few bullet points, right? Save yourself like the hassle. Scan through my email and find me this. Tell it to find you emails. It'll find it, right? Like, it's amazing what it can do. Figure out what it can't do and let me know, right? Because I think it does more than it doesn't do. So check it out. Definitely give it a try. Next thing is going to be our CRM. Mentioned it a couple of times, right? We have not mastered it yet. We will master it. We will have it down. We actually just did a full present the other day, which is the listing presentation, where we had a lead come in. She wanted a CRM. So we created the CRM inside here through Present. And then we emailed it to her. And then we also integrated it with the listing contract in Google Office. And then, or not Google Office, my goodness, Back Office. Sorry, I'm still on the previous slide. We integrated it with the listing contract in Back Office. And then we sent it to her. And it is absolutely amazing. Like, that's going to be a game changer for listing presentations. It's going to be a game changer. You can send everything out ahead of time, have them look at it, then just show up for your listing presentation, hopefully just sign the contract, right? Like, these are things that you need to do. But what if you don't know how to do it? right? What if you're not sure how to use present? Well, number one, there's all kinds of links in there that are going to teach you how to use it. But number two, they are purposely trying to improve their customer service. So they gave you this little bubble at the bottom right corner of the Bold Trail, and when you click that, you can message somebody live. Now, sometimes it might take a few minutes to get a hold of somebody, but when you put that in there, they're going to get back to you. So whatever you don't know how to do, if you don't want to go and find the, how to do it, which I'm telling you, you can. When you go to the dashboard, there's all kinds of links of trainings. There's all kinds of links of, I think everybody had to go through the, the onboarding process with it. So, but when if you don't want to go through all that, just put it on here. Right, just put it in here, and an AI agent should answer instantly, but for some reason the AI agent must be sleeping. Maybe they're on lunch. It's 12:30. I don't know, but normally they do. Yeah, so we can ask like, how do I use present? And then when you do that, it should bring you to, a response that's going to help you, and probably you can link it, click a link to, wherever whatever the answer is. So AI is working a little bit slow today. Maybe they need another coffee. I don't know. But use this. Normally it works really, really well. I'm just not sure what's going on with it right now. Of course, it wouldn't work in the moment. So, but please, work to figure out. There you go. Next generation CMA and presentation that includes capability. No, that wasn't helpful. So maybe we would say, we would want to ask another question like, how do I use present? Or where is the link? Where can I find training for present? Right? Or how can I figure out how to use present? The number one thing I'm going to say with all of this, with everything inside Bold Trail, is just go in and start using it. A lot of things, are really pretty easy to figure out if we just go in and start using it. You're not going to break the internet. You're not going to break Bold Trail. We haven't given enough capabilities, as far as, being able to edit where you're going to mess anything up. So just go in there and just click around, because this present for your listing presentation or your buyer presentation is really amazing. It's really, really amazing. And if you're not using it yet, you definitely should be. If you haven't set up just like a mock present all the way through, you should. You definitely should. In the listings, if you have a listing, you can have virtual tours, you can have walkthrough tours. Like, there's just so much that you can do inside here. But if you don't know how, just ask, right? Or go to one of the links for the trainings and, work on it from there. But there's so much in here. There's a lot to learn, right? But by doing, by just going in there and doing it, you'll figure it out. Leads are inside here, right? We'll get to that in a minute, but everything is inside here. So we're going to circle back. Well, no, we won't circle back to Bold Trail. So, oh yeah, we will. So, but we'll talk about Bold Trail a little bit more. Let's move on to the next thing, your support team. These are your people that are here to support you. This is everybody except for me. Obviously, I'm a major part of your support team. I think I've spoken with all of you probably on a weekend, on an evening, whatever it is. This is where it all starts. We pride ourselves on the support that we give to you all as agents in this brokerage, because we really want you to be an accurate representation of this company. We want you to go out and, know what you're doing, know how to do it, and know when to do it. And how do we do that? By, meeting you where you're at. We could load you up with dozens of these trainings a week, right? But if you never implement any of these trainings, they don't do you any good, right? So this is why we don't have, we're not a heavy training company, is because a unless you implement what you're learning, it doesn't do you any good. So number one, we try to give you, when we do training, something that you can implement right away. Number two, we want to give you enough time to implement it, to actually do it, right? And then number three, if you need something in between, or we haven't done that training, or you don't know where the training is, or you just need help right now, this is where you need to be, because this is where you're at right now, right? You don't, we're not going to say, okay, well, we're going to do a training on that in 6 weeks, so just wait for that, right? Maybe you don't know how to fill out an as-is contract. Well, you have an attorney that would probably be happy to help you fill out the as-is contract. You have a broker that would. You have a transaction coordinator that would. You have the sales manager that would, right? Compliance manager that would. Mentor that would, right? We will help you. We are here as your support system. So, whatever it is that you need, and if you're not sure who to call, just call somebody. If you're not sure who to email, just email somebody. And if it's not the right person, they'll tell you, hey, I actually may not be the right person for this. Let me have so-and-so. Or maybe they'll just go right to whoever that right person would be, and they'll go get the answer for you, right? So, but, don't assume that we don't want to hear from you, because we absolutely 100% do want to hear from you, right? We want to know where you're stuck, and we want to help you get unstuck. Also, you don't need to call us. Right? Let's say it's something where you need to share your screen. You're not sure how to log into something, or maybe we need to share our screen and you want us to show you how to do something, right? Because a lot of people are visual learners. Pop into the lobby room. All day, every day, you're going to find, not all day, sorry, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you are going to find probably at least 3 people in this room. Sometimes I'm not in there because I have appointments, or I'm out doing something. But Irene is always in there. Ja is always in there. A lot of you don't quite know Ja yet. She's coming in to help with transaction coordinating. Irene is taking on more of a sales manager position. But Ja is also the person that does all of the social media that you see on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. She's doing all of that social media. Some agents have already figured out that if they need a custom flyer made, they can pop in here, they can talk to Ja, and then she'll create that for you. Right? We're here to support you. This is absolutely what we're here to do. The problem is sometimes we don't know what the agent needs. There's times where we don't hear from or see an agent for, a couple of weeks. I'll reach out, right? And I'll usually I'll say, hey, pop into the lobby room. Let us know what you need. What can we do for you, right? If a lot of times, I know when I was a new agent, I was just driven on making phone calls. That's the only thing I knew that I should be doing. I didn't know anything else, right? But I do know that sometimes as a new agent, or maybe even experienced, you don't really know what you should be doing. You wake up and you're like, what should I do today? Right? I got some buyers, but they're kind of all caught up. Got some listings, they're caught up. Got some rentals, whatever, they're caught up. What should I be working on today? Right? Is there something that I should be doing? Pop in with us. Right? Like, that's what we're here for. We're here to support you. We're here to give you, support in whatever it is that you need. So, whatever you need, bring it to us. Come into the lobby room, challenge us, right? You think you have a question that doesn't have an answer, challenge us. See if maybe we can answer. But, to sum all of this up, we want to hear from you. We want to see you. We want to speak to you. We want to have, a dialogue with you. We want to guide you. But we don't know what everybody needs. There's more agents than there are, admins. There's more agents than there are staff. So, we do need you to tell us what you need. What do you need? And if it's just a general, I'm feeling stuck, then, that's okay. Pop in. We'll ask you a few questions, maybe get you unstuck. Maybe you're just having a bad day and you're in a sad mood. I'll tell you a dad joke, right? Like, whatever it is, let us know, what we can do, because, we want to be part of that success. So, all right, we're going to go through just a couple of or a few common scenarios, things that we run into a lot, that we just want to make sure of. Number one, MLS finds dual representation, dual agent. We cannot be a dual agent, right? We do know that dual agency is illegal, and this is the reason that we don't allow single agent in our brokerage, because if our broker, if we sign a single agent, see, the contract is between the broker or the brokerage and the customer, right? The agent is the intermediary. Obviously, your listing, your lead, your customer is going to be your customer for life. We're not here to take the customer. This is the law, right? If we have a listing, if one agent in our office has a listing that's single agent, none of the other agents in our brokerage can show that, and they definitely can't put an offer on that property, because that would be acting as dual agent, because the buyer that also signed an agency agreement would also be represented by the company. So this is why we say everything transaction broker. Please put everything as transaction broker. This avoids that problem. Now any agent can bring any buyer. The agents in our office can bring a buyer by, and we don't have to worry about dual agency, which is illegal in the state of Florida. Single agent, I think, really is just kind of reserved for like high net worth people that do need total what's the word I'm trying to think of here? You have to basically do everything total obedience, total whatever the word, I don't know. So, but single agent is not, we just generally don't do single agent in here. There's really no scenario where we need to. Next thing, buyer defaults, right? So buyer defaults should never happen. An agent should never have their customer in default of contract. There's a few ways that you can avoid it. The number one way is always track your timelines. Always, always, always know your timelines. There's a checklist in back office that you can use. You can put in your timelines. It should send you reminders. It should give you everything that you need, right? Transaction coordinator is not a mandatory thing in here, but if you want to use a transaction coordinator, that's one of the main things. That's one of the main jobs of the transaction coordinator, is that. And then just make sure that when the timeline is about to expire or terminate, there you go, right here, right? So if you go into agent resources, you can download something that's going to help you keep track of your timelines already, right? So it's amazing, all of the stuff that's in there. If you want to be your own transaction coordinator, then you should download these documents here, right? These will help you track what you have. Or you can go to back office, you can get the checklist there, right? Or you can do both, right? It doesn't matter. The means doesn't matter, as long as the end justifies the means, right? Transaction coordinator, if you want to use a transaction coordinator, I highly advise it. The small amount extra that the TC in our office costs, I think is worth way more than what than what you would pay. And then just make sure that you are sending the extensions at least the day before. Don't wait until the day of. So what about the other side? If the buyer is about to default, if we're the listing agent and we have the listing and the other agent has the buyer, well, we, as the listing agent, personally, I will let their buyer default, right? Because at that point, now we have some leverage, right? Not that we want to take somebody's deposit. I never want to take somebody's deposit, right? But if we can get a little bit more leverage, right, let them default. Now, if they bring something up, you can say, well, they actually missed this, or they this, right? But it gives you a little bit of leverage if you need to renegotiate a term, right? Where before you might not have any leverage and they wouldn't have to do it. But now if you need to renegotiate a term, you can say, well, here's the facts. So I think we should do this. All right, and what about other forms, right? Documents. Number one, in back office, you have access to all of the same documents that you would have in Form Simplicity, all the same documents that would be in Transaction Desk. But if you don't have it, you can create one, right? What about verbiage, for special things that, aren't normally handled? Well, we can create that verbiage. AI is really helpful for creating legal verbiage, right? If you kind of puke it out, whatever you need to say, and then you say, whatever. But then, you can go into back office and you can take that verbiage and you can put that into, right? We can create these documents with this verbiage. So, don't get stuck, or maybe the document does exist and you're just not sure where to find it or how to find it, or, what it should say, or what box to check, or whatever it is, right? Well, just let us know. Again, pop it in the lobby room, right? But you see here, you've got, company library, the realtor, Florida Association of Realtors, right? Then you got some other forms, onboarding, transactions, things like that. So, but you have every document that you need inside here, right? And if you don't have it, then you can create one. If you don't know how to create one, you can come talk to us. If you've got verbiage and you don't know what to put in there, then let us know. We'll help you, right? Another thing, our TCs in the office, because they're directed by me, I do allow them to do more for our agents than really what probably the average TC will do, right? Because we want to give our agents as much of an advantage as absolutely possible. We want to give you as much value for your dollar as absolutely possible. So, we do allow them to do more, but they cannot do licensed real estate activities. They can't give opinions, right? They can state facts. They really shouldn't, they can't negotiate, right? They shouldn't be having conversations necessarily with the other side based on, negotiating things. They could talk about bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, things that we know are actually factual, but any opinions, any negotiating, things like that, they can't do it, right? It's illegal. That would be practicing real estate without a license, and they're not allowed to do that. So, they can create flyers for you, any type of social media stuff. You want something special done there, they'll help you out with that. And that's more than what a regular, transaction coordinator will do. They're more than happy to do that. I just ask, don't ask them to practice real estate because they don't practice real estate. They definitely should not be, presenting new terms, while negotiating. That's the agent's job. Our job as the agent, we're the salesperson because we have the license. We're the key negotiator. We're the ones putting the deal together, right? We're the ones smoothing things over when things get rough. Transaction coordinator shouldn't be smoothing over, a rough transaction. The other thing is, this is your transaction as an agent. So you want to make sure that you are monitoring and staying on top of your transaction. You have to, right? Because you have more to lose than anybody. Don't just count on the transaction coordinator and just assume that everything that, needs to be done is being done. Keep an eye on your file. They're not going to intentionally sabotage or maliciously, obviously, because we want this thing to close as bad as you do. But at the end of the day, this is your file. And, you need to keep an eye on this. You need to monitor it. You need to babysit it. Make sure. And sometimes, if the transaction coordinator might miss something, and, they are human and they can use your help, right? They need you to maybe remind them to do something, or, maybe they don't know how to do something and maybe you can show them how to do it. So just, keep that in mind. They can't practice real estate. You can't negotiate. You can't give opinions, right? They're just transaction coordinator, and they're not necessarily your assistant, right? They will help you with things for sure. We tell them to go above and beyond. I've been at brokerages before where, the administrative team wouldn't do anything for me. It used to annoy me, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm helping pay for that administrator. So we definitely don't want to put that barrier there. We want our administrators to support you. There's just certain things that they just cannot do, that they're just not allowed to do legally. So, that's the reason why. Technical issues. A big issue that we have is, you know, you can't get in the lobby room, agent resources, or you can't access files and documents. Everything that we create is going to be centered around your company email address. Everything is centered around that. There are not a lot of logins at this point, but if you want to get into, say, the lobby room, you have to be going in from your mymxrealty.com profile, right? So you have to be logged in to Chrome with your MyMX Realty profile. You can't get in, you can't access agent resources. When you click the link, it gives you an error. You have to click that link from your mymxrealty.com profile, right? Certain files and documents, let's say, you know, we shared something on Google Drive. You can't get into them. Try accessing that file or that document from your mymxrealty.com profile. That's a huge thing. So just know that everything that we do centers around your MyMX Realty, right? Now, if that doesn't work, right, like let's say you can't get into your email, just reset your password, right? Also know that, you know, we have it mandatory, and I think maybe it's going to get to that, yeah. But we do have mandatory two-factor authentication for everybody that uses this email. That's for your protection, so that might be an issue as well. But you know, the old school things. Make sure you clear your cache. I don't know how you say that. Clear your cookies. Clear your browsing history. I was having a problem with the MLS the other day. I think it was actually just yesterday. I cleared my cache and cookies, and then it worked just fine. So a lot of times that's what it is, right? You can try going into incognito mode and try accessing something that way. See if it works right. If it does, then it's definitely that, right? So if you haven't done that in a long time, you can do that. You can clear your browsing history if you want to clear it. It'll clear it on all the devices that are logged into that. That's fine, right? Control H, if you have a PC, will get you to that. I don't know what it is on Apple Mac, but I know for a PC, Control H, that goes history, and you can clear everything else from there. So, you know, but those two things, those are big technical issues that we have a lot of. You know, sometimes we make an update to something, so, you know, the cookies from the previous version could be messing it up. So, but number one, make sure you're in the proper profile. It should be your company profile, and then just try clearing your history as well. One source of pride that we have in this company is that we've really made it simple as far as passwords. Not a lot of passwords. You don't need to remember a lot to operate your real estate business through us. Number one, you're going to have your email, your company email. Everything we do is going to be centered around that. You know, so make sure you have your email, your password. Make sure, you know, you should all have two-factor authentication by now. That's great. That keeps you safe. The other login that you're going to need is whatever association, because you need the MLS. You need those tools. The association has, you know, single sign-on. So whatever link you sign in, you click from within the MLS, they'll sign you into that automatically, right? So you need your email, you need the MLS, and then Bold Trail and back office, and that's it. Bold Trail is your front office, right? That's where you're going to manage your clients, your customers, your marketing, your social media, everything that's customer facing. And then back office is where you'll handle your transactions. You can write contracts. You can monitor your timelines. If you don't know yet, it's going to track where you are in your capping, how much money you've made year to date. You can pull your reports. You know, you can look at, you know, what is your best lead source, right? So, you know, the back office is back office. It's not customer facing. It's the stuff that's internal to you, right? The stuff that you don't want the customer to see. So just, you know, differentiate those two. Bold Trail is in the front, customer facing stuff, right? Back office is back. This is your administrative side. So just differentiate those two there. But, you know, this really simplifies your business. You don't have to have 19 different logins to, you know, to operate your business. You really just need 3. And it's these right here, right? Workspace, association, Bold Trail back office, and you're all good. Security, you know, two-factor authentication is a huge thing. You know, so if you have two-factor authentication in your email, you're pretty safe. You could change your password regularly if you want. You probably don't have to, but you can. I let Google create my passwords for me, right? But one huge thing is don't click links randomly. If you don't know who this email is from, don't click the link, right? Like even if it says, I don't know, set up your account with us for your new file that you sent us, right? Like validate that first, right? Don't just click a link because that's how you're going to get malware on your computer, right? So don't just click on your links. Your account, I can tell you, I don't think your Google account will ever get hacked. Not with this company, right? Your MyMX Realty should never get hacked. Nobody should be able to get into that, right? But if you click a link, you could download malware, a virus, something onto your computer. So do not just click random things. Everybody here probably knows that, but we have to say it, right? And then always educate your client to be vigilant, right? So what's the biggest scam in real estate? It's the scam where an agent's email does get hacked, and then the hacker monitors that agent's email. They don't do anything. They just keep up with it, right? They're just watching the emails as they come in and they go out. And then they see, oh, this agent has a transaction. All right. So what's going on with this transaction? Oh, it's 2 days from closing. Okay, now's where I strike. So then they emulate the title company, or they emulate the agent, or they emulate both. And they send an email that says, it creates a sense of urgency. And they say, oh my God, this is, I need you to go to the bank right now, and I need you to wire the funds to this bank account. Just go right now. This is not good. Everything is bad. If we want this to happen, you need to go do it right now. And what happens? So your customer should trust you, right? The customer should trust the agent or the title company. So the customer rushes to the bank, or they log into their bank account, right? If they use a big bank, they can send a wire directly from their bank account. They send the wire, and then they call the agent and say, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you let me know. I just sent that wire. Thank God we're good, right?" And now the agent's confused. What? What happened? How did that happen? What do you mean? Right? And then by the time it gets figured out, the money may have already hit the other account. Can they get it back? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, right? I don't know what happens after that. But if the agent is the reason, if the agent's email is the one that got hacked and caused this to happen, it's not acceptable because it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented, right? So just make sure that, that's why we have two-factor authentication. Add this, make sure your customer knows. Do not send a wire without confirming it with me first, right? Don't send a wire. Confirm that with me first, right? You can put that at the end of your email signature right there. Guess where it is? Agent resources, right? So email and security. Just go find it, right? It's right there. Copy and paste. Put that in your signature because you do not want to be the reason why this happens. I do not want you to be the reason that this happened. So, don't be the reason that this happened. If you're not going to put that in your email, at least talk to your customer, right? But a lot of, all of these things are just a matter of vigilance. You have to be vigilant, and you have to educate your customer to be vigilant. All right, Bold Trail, leads. If you don't have any customers, you don't have any other lead sources, log into Bold Trail. All of the leads are in there. Every single lead that we ever talked about is in there. You don't know how to work a lead? We've done training on it. You don't want to watch the training? Then come to the power hour. You don't want to come to the power hour? Fine. Pop into the lobby room. Give me a call, right? You don't know how to create a calling list? Let us know, right? Go to Bold Trail. Ask Bold Trail how to make a calling list. You don't like their answer? Come ask us. Hey, how do you do it? There's leads in there. They need to be worked. They're in there. They're ready for you. They're waiting for you. So, you have leads, and they're in Bold Trail. You don't want to work them. You don't know how to work them. You don't know where to start. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. That can all be addressed, right? But a closed mouth can't be fed. You have to let us know. You have to let us know, right? So next problem, sending contracts, right? So, when you go on appointments or, before you're doing things, always check the MLS first, right? If you're going to sign a new listing agreement, check it. Is it canceled, withdrawn? Has it never been on the market? Did it expire 6 months ago? What's maybe it's still active. Not every listing contract that expires, the agent doesn't always put it as expired. They just extend it. You can't assume that every agent behaves ethically. They don't. They're humans, right? So if every human isn't ethical, as many real estate agents that are out there, I can tell you that every agent is not ethical. So, check that. Always go to the MLS, right? What about, you're going to send an offer. You saw a property, your buyer wants to make an offer. Call the agent first. Do you have any other offers? Is there an offer on this right now? Is an offer coming in? Confirm that, right? And just know that you don't always have to ask, are you offering a commission? You don't have to ask it. You can just send along your commission agreement with the offer, right? There's addenda now that will make that commission agreement part of the offer. So, if you ask, you may have to just take whatever they tell you. If you don't ask, maybe you can negotiate a little bit higher commission for yourself. So, you don't know how to do that. You don't know that strategy. You're not sure. Ask us, right? Before you go on your next buyer presentation, or before you send your next offer to, for a property, before you call the agent to even see if it's available, pop in with us. Ask us. Give me a call. Come into the lobby room. Ask even Irene. She can tell you that strategy, because that's what we do. You might get a little bit more commission by not asking than by asking. Is it guaranteed? No, but nothing is. This gives you an opportunity to show how good of a negotiator you are. Can you negotiate your own commission? You should be able to, right? You should be able to. Our key job is negotiating, right? That is our job. So what if you have a listing that has no offers or no showings? Not your marketing. Probably not your marketing. Maybe it is. If you're not doing any marketing, did you get professional photos? Are they in the MLS? Right? We use List Hub. That should feed them everywhere. It's probably your price. It's probably your price. 2 weeks of no showings, 10 showings, no offers. You probably have an issue with your price. So, if you take a listing, number one, it's unethical to take an overpriced listing, right? But if you do, make sure your customer knows that it's overpriced. You have to prepare them for a price drop. If you're just like, okay, yeah, well, we'll take it. Let's just see what happens. Maybe it'll sell, and it doesn't sell. You didn't do your job. Your job is to sell the property. Sometimes you're going to lose a listing because if a customer is never going to put a property at a price that's going to cause it to sell, why would you take the listing? To get a buyer off of it? Like, what's the reason? I don't want buyers that bad. I don't even really want buyers, right? So talk to them about the price. If they want to stretch it a bit, right? We don't really know. Price versus value, those are two different numbers. But if they're not going to put it at a price that, or agree to ultimately, do what it takes to get that property sold, then, maybe you might want to consider, right? What about social media and marketing, right? Well, number one's Bold Trail. Has a lot of that stuff. Number two, you can take your website link from whatever, a listing. You can share it. And number three, when you have something going on, we will brag for you. We will make you a collaborator, right? So, keep an eye on our stuff. Please follow us on social media. If you're not already following us, please follow us on social media. Interact with us. We will interact with you. We will like your posts. We will heart your posts. Every once in a while, you'll see us. We'll comment on your posts. But like us back, right? Help us out as well. But make sure that your customers can see the things that we're posting about you as well. So whether you share what we put, or you collaborate with us on the stuff that we put, whatever it is, make sure that, that you're getting that out there, because this is something that we do. I don't know another brokerage that brags for their agents as much as we do. Maybe they're out there. I won't say they're not. Maybe you know one. Don't say it here. Message me. I would love to see what they do to brag for their agents. But we are an agent centric brokerage. We focus all of our attention on the agents, because we know if we give enough attention and the right attention to our agents, these things are going to translate into a great customer experience, right? How do we give a customer a great experience? As a broker, I can't. But by doing these things for the agents and knowing that the agents are out there, acting right, doing the right things, promoting things in the right way, I know that the customer is going to have a higher likelihood of having a great experience. So all of our efforts, everything we do is focused on the agent, in the hopes that you take what you have and what we do for you and you translate that value over to the customer. But please, look for your stuff on social media. You want a separate special post, you want us to say something about you, you want a humble brag where we'll post it and you can share it, tell us. We'll create it, we'll put it on our page. We don't mind saying great things about our agents. Not about us, it's about you. Finally, we talked about this already a little bit. Listing and buyer consultations, find them in Bold Trail, use them. You can add your own slides, you can take out the slides that you don't like. It's totally customizable. Once you change it, it's going to stay changed forever. And then you don't have, if you remove them, they don't have to be removed permanently. You can just remove it for, specific instances, a slide. But I highly recommend using that. That's going to take your business to the next level. So this is what we have. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. Our motto, it never changes. Don't stay stuck. If you're stuck, it's because you want to be stuck. It's not because nobody's there to help you, because this kid that's about to step into that quicksand, well, if you see what's on the other side, you're going to see our hand out reaching to that person, trying to pull them out, right? We give you all the tools, we give you all the resources, and we give all of the support that any real estate agent needs to be successful. What we can't give the hustle, we can't give the drive, right? We can't do this for you. But if you are stuck, if you have the hustle and you have the drive and you're just not sure what to do, how to do it, where to go to get it, whatever it is, let us help you. I am pleading with you. Let us help you, because this is what we're here for. We will all go further if we run this race together, right? If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So by us running this race together, we are all going to go much further in this. So let us know what you need. We cannot anticipate needs, but you are an agent in our office, and even an agent not in our office, right? Anybody that we can help them, we are there to absolutely help you, because it will all come back. Law of reciprocity, right? If you do good things, you will get good things. If you do bad things, you will get bad things. So we are here to help everybody. Nobody is our competition. We have no competition. The only competition that you have is the person that you're staring at in the mirror every morning. You need to do better today than that person did yesterday. And that's it, right? So let us know what you need. I hope this was, at least somewhat helpful. We do, we want to, we don't want to, become like a crutch for, but we do want to support you and help you find these things, help you find the answers. There are a lot of really, really smart real estate agents in this brokerage. I've spoken to every single one of you, and I know there are just a lot of really smart people, but even smart people get stuck sometimes, right? So, we want to encourage, we don't want to enable. Bring us your problems, bring us where you're stuck, bring us what you need. If you have ideas on what we can do better, how we can do something better, bring that to us, because we always want to innovate. We always want to do better. So if there's something that we can do better, I'd like to think that, I'm pretty open-minded, and, I'm happy to hear that. So that being said, does anybody have any questions? Is there anything in here? Is there an area where you're stuck, or is there an area that we didn't go over that maybe, we can go over here? We can help give you a little bit of guidance on that now. is, onboarding is open for everybody all the time. So, I think Irene does onboarding once a week, maybe twice a week. It's not just for the brand new agents. It's also for the, if you have a question or you're like, don't quite remember, how something is done, you can pop into any of these onboardings, right? And sometimes you got to go back to the basics, right? Sometimes you got to go back to the fundamentals of something. Like you hear it in sports all the time. They always go back to the fundamentals, right? Like the fundamentals are really important. You got to get those right before you can get to the advanced stuff. So, you're always happy there. The other thing is hour 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Even if you don't plan on calling every day, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you're not planning on being on the phones, pop in with us. Come, go over some scripts with us, have a conversation with us. Maybe cold calling isn't your thing. Maybe it is. I don't know. But, we'd love to see you there. If there's anything that you can learn, we hope that, you'll be able to. So, that's really it, guys. That's it. One final shameless plug, and for agents in our office, by the way, we do have incentives. When you sponsor another agent that joins us, we're finalizing the details on it. But for life, while you're, an agent here at this brokerage, every sale that other agent has, you're going to get $100 from us. So we thought about 10% of what we make or $100, but most of the time, because our split is so low, the $100 is going to be more money. So, being an agent here, we don't have a crazy high split. We're not making a killing off of, most closings. So, we can only give away so much, but we are rolling this out. We've had it. It was going to last only for a couple of years. But now it's a permanent thing. It's going to last for a lifetime as long as you're an agent here with MX Realty. We will always do better. We will always give you more, and we will never make it worse. We will never give you less. So just keep that in mind. Things will always, get better. As we grow, as we succeed, as we prosper, your incentives for being here as an agent will continue to improve, right? If you want to build a team, we're going to be doing a training really soon on how to build a team. A lot of people would think that building a team is tough and running the team from virtually is hard. But number one, we're going to show you how to build a team. And then number two, we're going to show you how to have a team virtually. Sponsoring an agent, Carolina, is just when talking to an agent and saying, hey, are you curious? How are you happy at your brokerage? If you guys are curious, or if you want to know more how to have a conversation with another agent, we can definitely let you know in the lobby room. But it's really just an agent that, whether they're a new agent, an experienced agent at another brokerage, that you introduce to us, right? Hey, Joe, I've got an agent, John Smith over at ABC, real estate company. And he'd like to meet them, or he'd like to meet you and see what you have to offer, right? So, it's just another way for agents to make a little bit of extra money. I don't know if you'll ever make a living off of it. There's other brokerages. I think they have models where like people want to make a living off of it. Maybe you could if you brought in enough agents. I don't know if you brought in a mega agent, probably, or a couple of mega agents. But it's just money. Right, it's just ways that we can help you make more money. So we've got that as well. So that's for the lifetime. As long as you're an agent in the company, you'll receive that. And I don't know, if you're making money, I don't know why you'd leave. So that's all I got, y'all. Thank you. One final call. Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts? All right, I am way over on time. My parting thought to everybody here is do not stay stuck. There's always another level to get to. There's always more money to be made. There's always another transaction to be had. And if you don't know how to do that, let us know. We will help you. We can't do it for you. We can't give you the hustle, but we can help you to make a plan. And then your focused effort over time will lead to success. If you do the right things, doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's one of the right things, if you do that enough over time, you will succeed. And it does take time. So hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you everybody for being here. If you need anything, please let us know. Call me, come into the lobby room, send us a text message, whatever it is. Just don't stay stuck, guys. Take care. Have a good one, everybody.